Hi, my name is Jason Shaw. I'm a technical marketing architect with VMware, and in this recording, I'll be presenting slides on stretch cluster support in the Cloud Foundation 4.2 release. You can find these slides in the Cloud Foundation Technical Deep Dive presentation. Now we'll start by defining stretch clusters. What is a vSAN stretch cluster? vSAN stretch clusters extend a vSAN cluster from a single site to two sites for a higher level of availability and inter-site load balancing. Stretch clusters are typically deployed in environments where the distance between sites is limited, such as a metropolitan or campus environment. A second site could also be isolated infrastructure within the same data center. A stretch cluster implementation requires hosts in two different availability zones or sites that are networked together with low latency and high bandwidth. A third site will host a vSAN witness appliance used to establish quorum and protects against split-brain scenarios. Stretch clusters provide simplified disaster avoidance and protection while enabling site maintenance to occur without any downtime required. Now, when implementing stretch clusters in Cloud Foundation, the management domain cluster must be stretched prior to stretching any workload domain clusters. After the management domain cluster is stretched, any workload domain clusters can be stretched. The customer has the option to stretch additional clusters within other workload domains as well as create additional workload domains in either availability zone. Not all workload domains or clusters need to be stretched. This slide provides a list of the networks that must be stretched between the two availability zones where hosts will be located. 4 networks, management, uplink 1, uplink 2, and edge overlay, must be layer 2 stretched between sites. Other required networks may also be layer 2 stretched, otherwise they must be layer 3 routable between sites and require a highly available gateway at each site. Make sure that the additional hosts in availability zone 2 have access to all required services, such as DHCP, DNS, NTP, or Active Directory. Deploying a stretch cluster in Cloud Foundation involves 3 major tasks. These consist of planning, deployment of a vSAN witness VM, and leveraging Cloud Foundation APIs to collect information and then to stretch a cluster using additional hosts in a second site. There are numerous considerations that should be evaluated when planning for a stretch cluster implementation. 2 main categories are network requirements and operational caveats. Network requirements include the stretching of required layer 2 networks and ensuring that these networks meet required bandwidth and latency requirements, both site-to-site and site-to-witness. Border gateway protocol is required when stretching clusters. This helps to automate the propagation of routes required during failover events. A vSAN witness will need to be deployed at a third site to protect against split-brain scenarios. Multiple witness appliances can be deployed at the third site as needed. Ensure all network requirements for witness traffic are met. The implementation of stretch clusters may impact the ability to use other features. For example, the use of HCI mesh or the use of NSXT federation is not supported when using stretch clusters. Be sure to review product documentation and release notes to identify any known caveats. Now this concludes this presentation, and thanks so much for watching.